Hey everybody, it's Party Elite here with another episode of Total Breakdown. The latest patch has broken basically all previous submissions, so make sure you send in your new battles through Discord or the submissions link, both of which are in the description down below. Today we're going to see Pharaoh War take the High Elves to the field against Slade X's Greenskins at the Crack of Karkan. Pharaoh War is on YouTube as well, and if you want to check him out, make sure you follow the link in the description down below. We begin of course with talk of composition and deployment, and you'll see a touch of cheekiness from both sides, especially the Greenskins. But first, we take a look at the High Elves. Alariel, the Radiant, is in charge up in the air, and the front line consists of these two units of White Lions of Shrace alongside the Scions of Mathlan. These guys are Spearmen Regiment of Renown. They have charge defense against all, and in a radius around them, they provide a ward save as long as mana is above 50%. We also have over here the Spearmen on either flank, and in the center we've got the Sisters of Avalorn and the Everqueen's Court Guards. These guys are armor piercing from range, so they will do a lot of damage to a lot of the Greenskin units, while we have the Lothern Seaguard as well as these Spearmen bringing up the rear. So a fair bit of anti-large capabilities over there, and you can see we've got the Dragon Princess to the side here and another unit tucked away in the trees. Now the Greenskins have a slightly wider deployment, and they also have a clever touch of Vanguard deployment, as you can see off in the distance over there. But first things first, let's take a look at the main force over here. Azag the Slaughterer is in charge on foot. The front line consists of these 3 units of Black Orcs, and we also have these Goblins on either flank. Right behind them we have the Nasty Skulkers, and behind them we've got 2 units of Goblin Archers and a unit of the Rusty Arrows over here. Great call, bringing in that armor sundering capability. Right behind them we've got the Hammer of Gork, able to fire away more or less instantaneously. And then we've got these Force Goblin Spider Riders as well as Broken Tusks Mob with their anti-large and armor-piercing capabilities and a touch of poison back here to boot. Up front you can see Vanguard deployed ever so slightly. We've got these Night Goblins able to push forward and stalk forward, while we also have Mogreb's Mangy Marauders again able to push forward and get some early damage in with their armor-piercing arrows, and they are protected by these Forest Goblin Spider Riders, maybe hoping to bait a unit out here and shut it down nice and early. While all the way off in the distance you can see we've got Durkit Squigs. These guys are armor-piercing and anti-infantry, probably waiting for the High Elves to push forward so they can move in and chase down any artillery pieces or shut down any range units that are left behind. So very interesting deployment there. Let's see how it all breaks down. As we kick things off, you're going to see right away Alariel there pushing forward atop that Eagle, hoping to maybe get some early damage done. She has brought with her Arcane, Unforging, and Earthblood as far as magic is concerned, so you can imagine a little bit of direct damage is waiting to happen over there. We also have Mogreb's Mangy Marauders here pushing forward, but very quickly being thwarted by the Dragon Princes. As they push in to intercept, you can see Mogreb's Mangy Marauders fall back, and they fire away, getting a touch of damage. And up here again, you can see Alariel just creeping forward, spotting some of these stalking units. Obviously, the Hammer of Gork is able to fire away now, and trying to get some damage in at first, at least, to these White Lions of Shrace, hoping to get some damage into, a fairly threatening unit. Not a bad call at all, but up front you can see Alariel here quite cleverly targeting Azag nice and early, hoping to get Arcane Unforging over here, but you can see as all of those range shots come in, Alariel decides to dodge and pulls away from that Arcane Unforging and manages to actually dodge, I think, all of those arrows, so very nicely done, but then pushes in once more, applies the pressure, and manages to actually get that Arcane Unforging off, causing a touch of damage to Azag the Slaughterer, actually causing a fair bit of damage over time. And you can see over here, the Hammer of Gork continues to fire away, and unfortunately isn't getting any shots in, not doing too much damage whatsoever, and at the same time you can see we've got the Spearmen here sent off to take care of Mogreb's Mangy Marauders, using their silver shields to great effect, barely taking any damage from all of those arrows, while the Dragon Princes have joined the central force once more. And you can see now we've got those shots from the Hammer of Gork focusing in on the Everqueen's Court Guard instead. Good call over there, a very threatening ranged unit, so not a bad idea whatsoever. And you can see the Everqueen as well, still looking for another opportunity to dive in somewhere. At the same time, take a look at this. Azag the Slaughterer has taken a lot of damage from that one Arcane Unforging. Almost at 50% health already. Great call. And at the same time, at the front line, you can see over here, we've got the Sisters of Avalorn, as well as the Everqueen Court Guard firing away, focusing in on these Black Orcs. Again, those are armor-piercing shots coming in. The Black Orcs have great armor, and they're also a very threatening unit, so a good call focusing in on them and trying to take them down nice and early. You'll see a lot of damage being done very quickly. And to the left over here, you can see we've got the Dragon Princess pushing in for a beautiful charge into the Night Goblins over here. Great job focusing in on a unit that is unbreakable, so they're going to be quite a pest, throwing them in the air, throwing them back, and doing a fair bit of damage as well, more or less instantaneously dropping their health to about 50%. And at the same time, you can see up front these Black Orcs are not having a good time whatsoever, as the Everqueen's Court Guard and the Sisters of Avalorn continue to fire away. These Black Orcs are falling apart. And to the left, though, you can see the Force Goblin Spider Riders trying to get a nice rear charge into the Dragon Princes, but Alariel is trying to get involved over there, while back here you can see the Everqueen's Court Guard is in a bit of a tight spot, as some decent damage comes in from the Hammer of Gork. At the same time, though, these Black Orcs are not having a good time whatsoever, being focused down on, almost already at 50% health, but the front lines are about to collide. You can see the Scions of Mathlan actually decided to charge in, foregoing throwing their expert charge defense, their charge defense against all, diving in against some Black Orcs, and in comes some nasty Skulkers as well, so not an ideal situation for them whatsoever. In comes an Earthblood to try and keep that right center alive here. You can see the White Lions of Trace over here diving in as well, while back here we get the Fate of Buna on the Sisters of Avalorn. Great call over there, trying to hurt the Sisters of Avalorn back here, as well as the Everqueen's Court Guard. They're a very threatening range unit, and you can see to the left over here we've got the Broken Tusks mob moving in towards the Dragon Princes. The Dragon Princes were able to take care of the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, as well as the Night Goblins over here. Forest Goblin Spider Riders almost ready to give up, but once those Broken Tusk mob come in, the tone of the battle here might change, as the Broken Tusk mob again are anti-large and armor piercing. To the right, meanwhile, you can see these Dragon Princes have pulled out of the trees, and they're trying to get a nice flanking maneuver going on over here, maybe shut down some of these Goblin Archers, but the Forest Goblin Spider Riders move in to intercept. Good call there, slowing down the Dragon Princes, but the Dragon Princes are going to absolutely roll the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Those Goblin Spider Riders do not stand a chance back here. At the same time, you can see we still have the Fate of Buna just destroying the Sisters of Avalorn over here, and over here as well, the Everqueen's Court Guard very badly hurt by the Hammer of Gork. Great use of artillery there, shutting down High Elf range capabilities. At the same time, to the left over here, you can see the Dragon Princes are getting some help from the Star of Avalorn. Again, that's the ability from Elariel, trying to keep these guys alive in this little clump over here, trying to keep them fighting for as long as possible, while off in the distance you can actually see Mogreb's Mangy Marauders being completely wasted as they're chased away by the Spearmen, firing away into their Silver Shield. So great use of the Spearmen there, just driving away Mogreb's Mangy Marauders. And over here you can see at the same time these Black Orcs have completely given up under fire from the Sisters of Avalorn, with some help of the White Lions of Trace, of course, in melee. These Black Orcs have completely given up, but over here you can see these White Lions of Trace have given up as well, as the Black Orcs push through and actually get engaged by the Spearmen. So sort of trading flanks over there, and at the same time back here you can see now we do have Durkit's Squigs pushing forward and trying to get into the backs of these Everqueen Court Guard, as well as the Sisters of Avalorn. And up front, meanwhile, you can see Elariel decides to dive in on Azag, hoping to cause some damage. Another Arcane Unforging goes down as well. Azag's health is dropping extremely quickly. You can see Broken Tusk mob now pulling back, hoping to pin her in place and maybe get rid of her, but you can see all of that range support coming in from the Sisters of Avalorn, doing a lot of damage. They are down to 50% health now as well, as Elariel turns around and pulls back into the air. Over here at the same time, though, you can see we have Durkit's Squigs pushing in towards the Everqueen's Court Guard, doing a fair bit of damage, but then in come the Lothar and Seaguard, of course, anti-large as they are. They're going to try and shut down Durkit's Squigs over here, and you can see over here the Dragon Princes had completely shattered these Forest Goblin Spider Riders and are now able to push in towards the Hammer of Gork and finally shut down that artillery capability. Off in the distance, you can still see the Spearmen chasing after Mogreb's Mangy Marauders, a completely wasted regiment of renown there, unfortunately, an armor-piercing one at that. So great work there, and I think these guys were just on skirmish mode, so they weren't able to actually be ordered around to provide some assistance where they might have actually been helpful. You can see, meanwhile, the Dragon Princess to the left over here still coming out on top, a bit more evenly matched right now because of the damage done by Broken Tusk mob, and you can see over here Azag the Slaughterer actually pulling away with just 50 hit points, so he's very close to being shut down. In come the Dragon Princess, potentially hoping to charge down, while over here you can see Broken Tusk mob moving in as well into the Sisters of Avalorn, hoping to shut down that very threatening range capability. But at the last moment, you can see we get Earthblood coming in, hoping to keep the Sisters of Avalorn alive. That last volley goes through as well, causing a touch of damage to the Broken Tusk mob before they finally get their charges in, throwing these Sisters back, flinging them in the air and causing a fair bit of damage. Earthblood is trying to keep them alive, but in comes Elariel as well, hoping to cause a touch of damage there. Dragon Prince is over here just rolling Azag the Slaughterer over there. He's taken so much damage. He's very low on health, very close to dying, and if he drops, the Greenskins will be in a terrible spot. Back here, meanwhile, you can see Durkit Squigs finding another opening, hoping to push in and provide some assistance, I think, to the Broken Tusk mob in this engagement against the Sisters of Avalorn, while you can see over here the Everqueen's Court Guard is dropping as those goblins fire away. Great use of the Goblin Archers, shutting down a very threatening unit over here, and you can see Broken Tusk mob as well shut down thanks to Elariel just diving in to melee and scaring them off. At the back, meanwhile, Azag the Slaughterer has been dropped, and that's of course not helping the Greenskin will to fight. And you can see over here as well these Dragon Princes very nicely sort of ping-ponging, pushing in now towards these Black Orcs, just throwing them back, causing a fair bit of damage back there. You can see the Hammer of Gork is still routing away, not going to return to the fight anytime soon. And back here as well, you can see these Durkit Squigs very nicely charging in, trying to eliminate some of this range capability, but unfortunately these guys are anti-large, and Elariel is right there as well, able to scare these guys off. So Durkit Squigs need to pull away into safety, while up front here you can see the Sisters of Avalorn once more now turn around, fire away at some of these Broken Tusk mob, hoping to eliminate them before they're able to close the gap. We also have these Spearmen closing the gap over here, intercepting this charge, hopefully, and managing to just pin them in place, allowing the Sisters of Avalorn to fire away and stay safe. Down go the flags of the Broken Tusk mob as they begin to rout and give up on the fight. Over here, you can see these Black Orcs as well giving up on the fight as the Dragon Princes just charge right through them and push in against the Rusty Arrows over here. Another beautiful charge coming in, dropping their will to fight, dropping their health significantly as well. Good job there, just ping-ponging again, using those Dragon Princes to eliminate range capabilities. Up front over here as well, you can see from these Black Orcs moving in towards these Goblin Archers, again hoping to eliminate those Goblin Archers. You can see, meanwhile, these Night Goblins are currently trying to engage the Sisters of Avalorn. We also have Dirkit Squigs here pushing in towards the Sisters of Avalorn, but being tied down, I think, by the Lothern Seaguard and their anti-large again, so they're able to eliminate these guys, and down goes the rout as well. These spearmen over here intercept the Night Goblins. Once more, the Sisters of Avalorn have been kept safe. In come some of those Fanatics, though, hoping to get some last-minute damage in there. Unfortunately, they just kind of flub their shots, do a touch of damage to the Lothern Seaguard, and the Sisters of Avalorn now are able to turn around and open fire again. While up here, Alariel, you can see, is trying to provide some assistance to these Dragon Princes, dives into melee, scares off these Goblin Archers, hopefully dives into these Black Orcs as well. These Black Orcs don't stand much of a chance anymore. These Dragon Princes as well, pushing in, eliminating these Goblin Archers. In come some shots from the Sisters of Avalorn, once more providing some assistance to Alariel, dropping these Black Orcs, dropping these Goblin Archers. Alariel needs to maybe take to the air. They're not having a good time against these Black Orcs, but in comes another volley. These Black Orcs are down to 50% health. Alariel coming in for some more damage. Down goes their morale, down goes their will to fight. Routs all across the field. The High Elves have won the day. A great showcase of Alariel, the Sisters of Avalorn, and some of the High Elf regiments of renown on the field. We saw the High Elf frontline collapse somewhat readily at points, but the use of cavalry, range support, and Alariel's abilities made sure the High Elves stayed on top. As always, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more Total War content and keep sending in those battle replays. I do think it's one of the best ways to learn, and it's always nice to highlight such amazing battles from the community. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the battlefield.